Hi, Dr. Lieutenant Klingenschmitt. I was watching your video, and as a believer, a very, very deep believer, I had some questions for you on some points. I have one major, big issue that I want to go over with you and just make sure that we're on the same page here. I had a couple of other talking points that I was hoping you could possibly answer for me. First off, in the video, when you were talking with Dr. Schubot, you guys brought up the fact that sex slaves are being traded and sold in the Muslim world. And that's horrifying, of course. But I did realize that through sex, generally there can, pregnancy arises. And I know here in the States, we obviously very deeply believe that you cannot get rid of rape babies. I mean, they're necessary things in the world, and we have to have them. So my question for you is that if these sex slaves get pregnant, do they still have to carry to term their jihadist, Muslim extremist, murderous children? Because I know that, we cannot murder a baby, but I am concerned that through these sex slaves, we are going to be producing a super intelligent race of previously Christian, which are more intelligent than Muslim, new jihadist Muslims. So I just wanted to make sure that that was something that maybe we can dialogue about a little bit to see what we're going to do about their pregnancies, as they're not real humans. So next, I wanted to talk a little bit about the STDs as well that some of these Muslims are carrying and giving to these girls. And I noted that you said that they carry some of these in the name of Allah. So my question is, are Allah-specific STDs different than Christian-specific STDs? Like, let's say, I'm out for a night of fun on a tractor, and, I cut myself, and, my bare skin is touching the tractor, and I get gonorrhea. I know since it's a Christian-specific STD that God will cure me. So I'm wondering if these Allah-specific STDs will be cured by Allah, or if they're just going to be ignored altogether. So any answer to that would be greatly appreciated. There's a Muslim guy in my apartment. He doesn't wear the stuff, but I know he's Muslim because he's definitely not black. But he's dark-skinned, and I am concerned for my children's safety. I don't want them being sold as sex slaves. Good. So next, I wanted to kind of get to the big question here that I have for you, which deals with religious freedoms. Excuse me. I obviously believe very deeply in religious freedoms here in America. And it was noted that when you were talking with Dr. Schubot, that slavery is indeed a part of Islam. So it is kind of part of their religion. Now, as a Christian, I do know that slavery is a big part of my religion as well, as noted in Exodus 21, 2 through 6. So here's my basic question for you. I've got a friend, his name's Tyler. He's a Hebrew, and I'd like to have him for myself. Let's just be honest about this, as a slave. Because I know that I can have a Hebrew slave for 6 years, but on the 7th year I have to let him go. Now there are some ramifications to that. There are some things to consider. One thing to consider is that if I supply him with a wife while I am his master, and he has children and such, when I let him go free on the 7th year, I retain his children and wife, obviously, and that's fine. But I was really concerned about keeping him on board. So what I need to know is, if I supply him with a wife and children, and let's say I feed them lots of Cheetos and Doritos and, maybe Mountain Dew, Taco Bell, stuff that will make them love me a lot. I know if Tyler declares publicly that he loves me and does not want to be set free, then what I can do is I could take him to the door of, the Denver Public Zoo, give it a knock, and have his ear pierced by an owl, and then which he will be mine forever. That is definitely indeed in Exodus. So I just want to make sure that was going to be protected by you here as a religious freedom, that I can own Tyler if I get his ear pierced by an owl. And really, I was wondering if you had any other ideas of ways to make him love me. So that was my big question. I would really like to know a little bit more about this religious freedom. Thank you for your time, Dr. Lieutenant Klingenschmitt.